Well, Leslie Jones, I have got to hear about your morning of Emmy nominations. What was that? What was that whole situation like?
Well, I sleep really, really late. So my phone kept ringing. And the only thing I kept thinking was, who is ringing my phone before 10 o'clock? Because they know that no one calls me before that time. And the phone just kept ringing, kept ringing. And then when I looked at it and I saw Lauren Roseman as a publicist, I was like, oh, it must be something important. And I think the first thing I said was, oh, man, did they find some more nude pictures?
That's funny.
And she was like, oh, you got nominated.
Well, you could have thought the worst before you saw that it was Lauren. I mean, it could have been a death in the family or something when they're calling that early.
Right, exactly.
So a good morning all the way around. What who reached out from the SNL team, the cast members and such?
Oh, everybody, you know, the usual. Keenan, Kate hit me, Vanessa, everybody.
Well, Kate and Vanessa are in your category. In fact, you SNL ladies have half of that category taken up this year.
I know, that's crazy, right? It's just insane, and I'm so happy for Vanessa too. Vanessa's a beast.
Keenan has his first ever Emmy nomination this year for song.
I know, and it's crazy. He should have been nominated a long time ago. The man is mad talented.
There is no show on television this year with more nominations than Saturday Night Live. I think you have 22.
Well, I think Westworld is tied with us, but yeah, we're the best.
What? Tell me about your first time meeting Lorne Michaels. I've always admired him. I grew up watching SNL when I was 6 or 7 and too young really to be watching it, but I did anyway. What was that first meeting like?
Well, I mean, gangster recognized gangster. I mean, that's what it really was. It was just it was like meeting like somebody that I knew I wanted to be like and admired. It was crazy. It was just, yeah, it's just like where everything you think, you scared and excited at the same time.
You started as a writer, not a performer. Several people have done that. What, didn't Chevy Chase do that? He was hired as a writer and then they liked what they saw behind the scenes?
I think so. I think that's the same as for Chevy Chase, wasn't it? Yeah.
I think maybe Mike Myers did that. I mean, there have been several along the way. What's that moment like when you realize, hey, I'm actually going to be on this show and not just writing?
It's just, yeah, it's great. You're like, oh, okay. So I think I remember telling Lauren, so you know I'm about to show my ass right now, right? So he's like, yeah.
What does he do that others don't? I mean, he's just a legend in television, not just SNL, but so many types of things that he does. Now that you've seen him behind the scenes and up close, what's he doing that the other people aren't?
I think he's like a great coach, if that makes any sense. Like Belichick, I think he just realizes what a person's talent is and where he can put them and where they're best suited and where they can be their best character. I think he's just really good at that, at honing whatever that skill is that they can do. I think he's really good at putting it in the right position. He's just a genius.
Your episode that you picked this year for the Emmy voters to watch was the Tom Hanks episode, where you talk about your Twitter and you talk about other issues, you know, with social media and such. Why did that episode appeal to you as being your submission?
I think it's because all of my updates are pretty much from a real place. But I think I picked that one because I think it inspired people a little bit to know that you could still survive after something bad happening to you, or, you know, something like that happening to you. I wanted to let people know that something like that is not going to scare me. So I think that update just really just embodied that whole feeling of what I was going through.
You're not going to let somebody else take control of the situation. You're going to do it yourself.
Pretty much, I'm going to reveal the elephant in the room. I'm the one who's going to reveal the elephant, and I'm going to make the elephant laugh.
Another great segment on that show was a sketch on that show was the Jeopardy sketch with Tom Hanks. Tell me about that one, because that was one of the highlights of the whole year.
Yeah, that was one of my favorite ones too. Only because we got to watch Tom Hanks work. Tom Hanks is a genius also. I don't think he knew what that character was until we started doing that sketch live. I think he kind of knew during dress what he wanted to do, but I think it came to realization when we went live, and we like watched it happen. Like the move back when Keenan stepped towards him to shake his hand and he moved back. That was the first time he did that. That was like off the top of the head, and it was just like genius watching him. I think he made that sketch.
And he's nominated too. Everybody we talk about today is nominated at the
Emmys. You know, David S. Pumpkins. I mean, he's David S. Pumpkins.
Dave Chappelle nominated. That had to be a fun week for you.
Oh man, Dave Chappelle week was just crazy fun. Yeah, just all the way up until the after party. It was just, yeah, he's magical.
I talked to Lin Manuel Miranda like 2 weeks after he hosted, and for Moana and his whole Oscar nomination, he was still on cloud nine. He said that was one of the highlights of his whole life.
Yeah, and he actually proved to me too that he was a rapper. I mean, because I was like, you know, hey, you know, you're not Run DMC, so I don't know about your little play, you know. But then he came in and was just like so incredible. I was like, oh, okay, my bad. I had to step back and give him his love, you know.
There's 3 types of hosts to me on this show. One is the person who's hosted a bunch of times, let's say a Tom Hanks or an Alec Baldwin, somebody like that. And another one is a first timer, a very first time they've ever hosted SNL. And a third type is that returning cast member like Kristen Wiig. Tell me the differences in each one as you're working on a week.
Well, the one that's seasoned, like the Alec Baldwin or the Melissa McCarthy, we really don't even have to write for them. I mean, they actually come in with their own stuff. They're so good. So it's really building around what they want to do because they know the format, they know how we work. So it's just like working with another cast member, you know, with people that come back as frequent. And then when you have the newcomers are more like the whole week, most of the week, we're making them feel comfortable to be there because it's really chaotic back here. And the one thing that I always tell the newcomers is to submit. You just have to submit. You can't, it's like a Chinese finger puzzle. You know, the more you fight, the more you're going to get trapped in it. So you got to just submit. Everybody here know how to do their job, top rate. Everybody, the producers, the writers, the cast is going to have your back no matter what. It's just submit to the process. That's the biggest thing with newcomers. It's just letting them know that, hey, we're not going to let you fail at this. We're here to make you look good. And then the returning is just like the people who be here all the time. The returning, they come in and it's just like they never left. You know, Kristen came here, and I'm going to tell you, Kristen Wiig proved to me why she was the baddest bitch ever. Seriously, she was doing rehearsals and like it was such difficult sketches, and she was like, okay, I got it. And I was like, wait, we only did this. Wait, you sure you don't want to go through this one more time? No, we got it. And I was like, wait a minute, you don't know what you're going to, no, I got it. Like, and she was just so good.
Over the years, as you watched, long before you were a cast member, who were your favorites? Who were some of the ones that you really enjoyed?
Well, whenever I got to watch it, because I'm a comedian, so I mostly performed on Saturday night, so I didn't get to see Saturday Night Live. I remember that was one of the things that Lauren asked me, is if I watched the show, and I was like, I got to be honest, I'm a comedian, so I don't really see the show. But I do remember, you know, the favorites, of course, Eddie Murphy, John Belushi, Chris Rock when he was on there. I loved Adam Sandler and some of his characters. You just love the fun stuff.
I interviewed Eddie Murphy about this time last summer for Mr. Church. I asked him the question about would he ever return, you know, to host SNL, not just like the 40th, but like actually host. I'd never heard him say this in the last couple of decades. He said he would now be interested in doing that. So you pass that along to Lorne Michaels. I think you would all explode if he came back to host SNL.
That could be epic. That could be really nice. Yeah.
Tell us about the timeline for the new season. When do you come back, and do you know any details?
I don't know many details, but I do know that we're coming back around October, and you know, we're gonna be about the business of killing it again.
Well, I've got to tell you, all these 42 years, I'd never been to an episode until last October. We went to the Emily Blunt episode for the dress rehearsal.
Okay.
Your crew is unbelievable. They are the crew, as well as all the pages and talent relations people and everybody. They really know their jobs.
Everybody knows their job, top rate. Everybody here is good at their job. That's what's so magical about this place. You go into every department, they're like number one at what they do. And it's just like putting a bunch of number ones together, putting the show together. Of course, the show is going to be fire.
Well, congratulations on this Emmy nomination. We're so excited for you. Can't wait to see you in about a month on the red carpet.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I appreciate